Well, we're back.
What are you doing?
I'm wearing a mask.
Why?
They told us we should wear a mask when we're inside.
Where's my mask?
You're a cat. It's called coronavirus, not kitty ronavirus.
I want a mask too.
Fine, fine. I'll put a mask on you too. Hang on. Hang on. There, now do you feel better?
Yeah, I feel better too. We both have masks. I was thinking.
What were you thinking? It gets dangerous when you think.
I was thinking that we're kind of teaching this class. I'm your partner.
I'm not sure we're team teaching, you're helping, or maybe hindering.
I'm the team teacher. Do you think we can get Team Taught Carthage Symposium credit for this class?
No, that's not a possibility. First of all, you're not even a real teacher.
I feel like a teacher.
But you're not a teacher. And we didn't apply for it, and even if since you're Stat the Cat and I teach statistics, we'd be considered the same department anyway. So sorry, we can't get that.
That's not fair. There's two of us. It should be a symposium.
I agree with you, but can we get to what we're supposed to be teaching about now?
Sure, let's do that instead.
Okay, part 3. Why in the world was I worried about getting files or getting fields in two different places that would match?
I don't know why.
Well, here's an example. Sometimes you have data in one place and data in another, essentially two separate tables. We're starting to treat Excel like a database.
Database, big word.
Yes, and frankly, Excel is a horrible database, but it's a very common database. So what I'm doing here isn't really a good idea, but it's done all the time anyway. So perhaps I have something over in one table that I want to pull into this table, and I have to have a field that matches. So you'll notice I labeled it wrong. This is actually user ID. I'll just call this ID. I have an ID here that I can match to the IDs here. So how does that work? Well, let's see.
Yeah, I want to see this.
The VLOOKUP function. I'll do it here. The function is VLOOKUP. It says, what value are you looking up? I'm going to try to look up this user ID. Then it says, where are you looking? I'm looking for it over in this table. And I want to lock that reference to the table, so I'm going to copy this. Then it says, if I find this value somewhere in the first column, it always looks in the first column. So that's very important that the search field is first column here. So if I find this value in the first column of this table, what column do I want to return? Well, right now I want to compare this class to that class. So that's the 6th column. Then I have this approximate exact match. You almost always want to use false, which is weird because you want an exact match. I've never actually, in my own work, done an approximate match. I can't remember doing it. So you want a false match, which means exact. So it says that one system used SO for the, again, remember this is randomized. It's not really accurate for these students or this data, but it says SO, and this field for the same person also says sophomore. And because I locked the reference on the table, I can copy that both up and down. And I get a lot of errors, which that's one of the problems. Not every one of these people exist in this table. But now I know that. I don't have to look it up myself. I know right away that I've got several people that aren't there, the other ones I have. And because of exact, I'll show you what happens if I had said true. Because I asked for an exact match, I can see that. And I can see that in this data set, some of the classes match better than others, and some I don't even have data. Had I used true and said I'm happy with an approximate match, I would think I have data for everybody when I clearly don't. To me, true just gives me outright wrong information. False saying exact match only works a lot better because I know when I have missing data. That's how VLOOKUPs work, and that's why sometimes you go through a lot of work to try to get a field. In this case, I used user ID from the previous work we did to try to get a field that can be matched into two different places. Now, the fact that it's in the first column here actually doesn't matter. It only matters in the table where you're looking things up, that it always looks in the first column for that match. A simpler example where everything actually works. This is pulled out of an old example that we have in various places. So I have a code. This is more traditional database stuff. And I have a code here. So I got transactions for whatever are invoices. And I want to know the customer name. Oops. So I want to look up this code. Notice what I'm looking up is not in the first column here, but it is in the first column over here. Lock the reference. And I want to return the customer name, so I want to return the second column from that table. And as before, I want an exact match. And I want to get that customer's city. So I'm going to pull same code, same table. And I want the city is in the third column. So I can do that. So I can pull data that way. The same city appears multiple times for each customer here. It's kind of a handy little tool, and sometimes you'll find that that's a good way to do things.
Pretty neat.
You didn't help that much.
I helped a little. You're just jealous because I'm more popular than you are.
What makes you think you're more popular than me?
Have you checked Google Trends?
No, I haven't checked Google Trends.
Well, maybe you should.
Not right now. I think we'll just kind of wrap this video up so the students can go practice this.
Okay.